Hello people, and welcome to Crypto Exposed. Analyst alleges serious market crime as XRP posts 100% wick on Binance. Okay guys, let's get into it. Okay, so once again, we're looking at XRP here at the moment, but this can also be applicable to HBAR as well. So we're talking about really the market as a whole, right? So we're obviously recovering off of the back of this huge liquidation event, the largest liquidation event in crypto history. And so we've got a bit more information now. So I'm just going to kind of cover this in a bit more detail and just tell you what my thoughts are on what actually happened here. And just where we go going forward. And so, okay, I'm going to go through just little parts of this article. But yeah, from what I can see, and it was pretty much what I'd said before, it seems like there was some really shady stuff going on here. Now, I've already said that I think it was market manipulation, but as we get a bit more into it, it's a bit deeper than what I originally thought. So I'm gonna just read some parts of the article here, just so you can get the gist of what we're saying, and then I'll obviously expand my thoughts on that. Okay, so we've got here XRP flash crashes to $1.25 before rebounding to $2.60. According to data from Binance, XRP price plummeted from a daily high of $2.83 to a low of $1.25 in a matter of hours, a staggering 56% drop within a single day. However, what made the event even more dramatic was the rapid recovery. Specifically, XRP bounced back to around $2.40 just hours later, erasing most of the losses almost instantly. At press time, the coin is trading above $2.60, making a 108% rebound from the $1.25 low. This price movement left a long wick on the candlestick chart with a very small body, highlighting the extreme volatility. Some serious crime went down a few days ago, Blunt's posted on X along with a screenshot of the Binance chart. The suspects behind the move. Market commentators have pointed to intentional manipulation, algorithmic trading errors, and cascading liquidations as possible causes. Indeed, the market recorded an unprecedented level of liquidations that day, with 19 billion wiped out, 16 billion of which came from long positions. In a tweet, market watcher Vivek Sen remarked that a large whale opened a massive short position just before the Trump announcement that triggered the crash. Notably, according to the report, the trader opened the account on the same day as the transaction and netted a profit of nearly 100 million within hours. One more thing, XRP goes to all-time high with haste. While XRP has stabilized above the $2.60 level for now, with Bitcoin also recovering, the market is now focusing on the resumption of the bullish rebound that began in early October. According to trader Blunt's, XRP could blast to a new all-time high, quote, with haste, unquote, making the earlier dip a massive accumulation opportunity for those who took advantage of it. Okay, so I'm going to get into what I really think about this now. So from what I'm gathering, from what I'm kind of seeing, I still believe in terms of Trump making that tweet, I believe there was insider trading going on, which is what I'd mentioned on the original video, right? Because as it said there with Vivek Sen, someone had basically opened up an account like 30 minutes before the tweet, literally opened up a brand new account and started shorting the market like 30 minutes before the tweet. So to me, that's as clear as day that it's insider trading. But the other thing that I'm actually hearing here now is that there was actually a combined effort with market makers, and market makers are basically like the crypto exchanges, right? To flush out the markets. And what they mean by this is that basically you've got a lot of people, because obviously, you know, the market moves in certain patterns, right? And, you know, as I've told you before, a lot of people call October Uptober when you're in a bull run, because that's usually a good, you know, month for the market. Now, if you think about it, Bitcoin had just hit a new all-time high in October and was, I think it was around roughly like $124,000. It was roughly that anyway. So it was in a very comfortable position and was looking like it was like going for a next leg up, right? And so what it seems is that there was a lot of people who were then putting leverage on their trades, right? And so what I'm getting from the gist of this is, and what I've like read on X, etc., is that basically the market makers basically knew that this was potentially going to be a problem for them. And so with that much leverage, and if the market really does go into euphoria mode at that point, obviously the market makers are going to have a lot of money that they're having to pay out, right? And I guess this was their way to manipulate the market and wipe the slate clean. And so basically that they basically wiped all the order books, which basically means people who've got like leverage positions and stuff like that, they're basically like wiping the book so that there's no like liquidity there, and so orders are getting filled at ridiculous prices and stuff because of slippage. And basically when like the prices like kind of drop in, people who've got like collateral, who are using like collateral for like their positions where they're like shorting or using leverage, whatever, or long in the market with leverage, whatever crypto they're using as collateral is now being forced to be sold. And so when you've got that many people in the bull run atmosphere and they're all like long in the market with leverage because they believe it's ready to go, obviously there was a lot of people who was there ready to take a lot of money from this. And so they got wiped out. You know, like one of the analysts who I follow, his name's Credible Crypto, he actually mentioned that he lost 400k across the board from all of his trades. Like he lost 400k from this. He said he's been speaking to people who've lost millions. Like he said one person had lost like, I think it was like 10 million. Another person lost about like 30 million. Like there was people who like really, really lost bad from this. I did see a post as well. I don't know how true this is, but it said there was 2,000 crypto traders that basically are no longer here off the back of this. That's how serious this is. That's how bad it was. Like, this is the biggest liquidation event in history. And like when you start to hear the numbers, because I didn't really understand the magnitude of the numbers, but when you start hearing the numbers of what like kind of money people lost, like I say, Credible Crypto, 400k, 10 million, 30 million. Yeah, like I can understand how devastating this can be. And I guess the thing that about this is why again I feel so frustrated for these people is that this was manipulated 100%. Like look, I can't guarantee things, so I always say that, but it's 100% clear. Like, come on, man, we know what's happened here. Like the market makers knew the market was getting ready to rip. They was going to be in a very bad position because these people have got very high leverage. So they was going to stand to make a lot of money, probably going to be in a situation where these exchanges wasn't going to be able to pull this off. They've basically wiped the books and wiped the slate clean. Now, the thing about that is, it's just not fair, right? Like, the thing is, like, don't get me wrong, I do say to people personally, not that I tell people what to do, but I'll never touch leverage because I just know it's risky. And you've got to look at like crypto and investing in general. Like just look at it like going to a casino. Just think of the slogan, the house always wins. Like if you're playing with leverage, you're essentially getting to a point where you kind of like gambling. Now, don't get me wrong. You can be very responsible with the gambling. So you don't go over the top with the leverage or, you know, that kind of thing. And you can obviously use charts and stuff like that. So you're making a bit more of an educated guess rather than I'm just going to fling it on this because the market's looking good, so I'm hoping it's going to go up. But you still got to understand that, as I just said, the house always wins. And this is evidence of what I'm saying. Like, if the worst comes to the worst, it seems like the exchanges they'll just pull something like this off. Because to me, like, this is the most brazen and blatant manipulation I've ever seen. And I'm not trying to act like I've been here since the beginning of time, so maybe there's been worse in the past, but the level that we've seen here and how obvious it is, it just seems like a bit of a slap in the face, and it's surprising how blatant they are being about it. Like, it's crazy. And so, yeah, from what I'm gathering, as I said, in regards to Binance, the same here, Binance is one of the exchanges that I've been hearing has been very shady about all this. Like Binance has been one of the ones that they've said has been a bit of a concern. And so if you're seeing here that the Binance chart is showing that it went down to $1.25, like it might have been showing that, but did anybody actually manage to get any XRP at that price? They're saying it rebounded almost instantly. And when these kind of things happen, when the markets are this erratic, it's very hard to get, you know, trades going on. It's very difficult to get them in. And so I doubt anybody did. And part of this is because I think this was them wiping the books. I think this was the manipulation thing of it. I don't think the price was really at that level. And I think that's why they're saying, you know, this whole thing about serious crime going on. So yeah, it looks like this was shady. That's the long story short. It looks like this was shady between exchanges and Donald Trump. Now, was Donald Trump telling the exchanges, you know, yeah, I'm going to do this day, so whatever. I don't know if it goes that far, but maybe the exchanges was all in agreement that, hey, you know, come the next negative news event, we're going to flush the market. That's the plan. And once they had that tweet, that was enough to say, okay, let's go. That's what we can base it on. So yeah, I will say this, it is a bit of a shame because you are getting to a point now where you do feel like you're in a market where your success is now getting to a point where you are dependent on the elites, you know, like the government, the president, etc., the exchanges. Like it does seem like if they just want to blatantly rig the market for you to fail, it seems like they can do that. I mean, the best thing I will say is that, you know, don't use leverage. And again, I'm not telling you what to do, but that's just my opinion. But the thing I will say for that is, even if you are someone who doesn't use leverage, like, we don't know what's going to happen now with this bull market, right? Like, we don't know if the bull market is done because of this. Blockchain Backer had been saying that he thinks that, you know, the market is showing bearish signs. Now, I'm not going to get too deep into this now, but like I've already said, while I do give Blockchain Backer props for taking some money early, I think the signs that he saw, I don't really give him the credit in that regard, just because this was a black swan event. You can't calculate that someone is going to come and manipulate the market. That's not something that you can foresee. The charts will not tell you that. But I still respect the fact that he took some profit, like, and I think that was a smart move to do. If this was a natural drop and it wasn't manipulated, I'd give Blockchain Backer all the credit in the world because he's someone who I follow. I think he's a good analyst. So please understand, I'm not knocking him here, but this isn't something that we could have predicted. This was manipulated. So it's a different thing. Okay. And so moving on from here, I guess it's just what do we do? And again, unfortunately, I don't really have all the answers, right? Like, this was a real bad hit to the market. I've been looking at the market lately and it went as low as $103,000. Now, I have heard an analyst who has said if it drops below 105, then the Bitcoin bull run is done. It's topped, right? So is that possible that is the end of Bitcoin now? Possibly. I don't know for sure. I hope not. But if it is over, then the next question is, okay, Bitcoin's had its run now, but does that mean that we're still going to get the alt season? So even if it's not maybe the as aggressive alt season as what we'd originally hoped for, because Bitcoin didn't have a chance to go to like a much new higher all-time high, are we still going to get an alt season, or is this we're just in a bear market now and that's it, the market's had its cycle? If so, this has been an absolutely terrible bull run, I'll tell you now. But again, my thing about this is, if Trump hadn't have manipulated the market and these exchanges, would we have had an incredible bull run? We don't know. And that's what's the frustrating thing about this. Like, if we do go into a bear market from here and that's the end, there's going to be this question, right? That big question mark of, well, was the market already destined to fail from here and it just needed one catalyst to start it? Or was it that we was literally on the verge of having an incredible bull run and then this manipulation came and just destroyed that? I don't know. Now, I've got a friend who can read charts. He put a comment on my previous video. He said he thinks that this is actually quite bullish because all the sellers are gone now and the people who was just leveraging the market. So now they're all flushed out. There's going to be a lot of extreme fear, which we can already see, which is usually a good sign because it means that's when the markets can go, because there's not as much leverage positions in and stuff like that. So maybe that is the case. I'm hoping so. But for me, I don't try and sit here and just be like, oh yeah, it's all fine. It's all fine. I don't know. Do you know what I mean? I'm hoping it is. I'm hoping it's all good. A lot of analysts are still saying, hey, yeah, like this is still going to happen. I've seen Blockchain Backer who's kind of like, yeah, like it's still showing bearish signals. So look, I'm not here to pretend like I have the answers. I don't know. All I know is that I'm like you guys. I'm just ready to take some profit, man. I just hope we haven't lost the ball run here. But my best guess is that we still at least have an alt season, even if it's not as aggressive, because we haven't had an alt season whatsoever so far, although some people may argue that we have. But for me, an alt season is when like the majority of the market is going. This isn't what normally happens in a bull run. Like with an alt season, it's a lot more coins would be going. Like there's a good amount of coins that I've got right now that have not even, forget hitting all-time highs. They're not even like 20-30% up from where, you know, they've been in like the bear market. It is ridiculous. So if this is the end, I guess we'll always question it. I will be very frustrated because this has been an incredibly bad bull run. But again, we will never know if this was, you know, the way it was supposed to go. But all we can do is wait, right? Like all we can do is wait and see how it goes. Obviously, if other people want to cash out, again, that's your choice. I'm here, I'm waiting, you know, I'm going to see how things go. But yeah, this is really frustrating just in the sense of we do feel like we've been robbed here. You know, the majority of people I speak to, and I feel the same. I feel like we're kind of being robbed here. And it's like, this is like the problem, right? When you want mainstream adoption and stuff, it's good that you get the adoption, but you've got to see what comes with it, right? Now comes the market manipulation and everything. And we're at the mercy of these huge, powerful companies and, you know, the government, etc., who can just play the market to their needs. And so that's a real scary thing, because my worry here is if this does mark the end of the bull run, like, I don't know if we're ever going to get big bull runs like this again. Like, it would make me actually wonder, like, is this the end now of big bull runs? Because the exchanges will just manipulate the market, right? Like, if it gets to a point where it's like, oh, okay, the market's ready to go, they'll just keep wiping the market. So it's a scary thing. And just one last thing, sorry. The one thing that they were saying about this, why they can't like look into it and stuff from a insider trading perspective, is because like Bitcoin isn't being classed as a security, right? So it's not following those kind of laws. So because it's classed as like a commodity, it's actually not, you can't do those kind of checks in regards to this. So it's actually open to insider trading and things like that. Like that's not illegal. So this is where maybe why they're being so blatant about it, because it's like they can, they literally can. They can't get, you know, caught out or in any trouble for doing so. So again, it's a very scary thing. But yeah, it's not great, but we just have to see how things go, guys, unfortunately. So I'll leave it there. But again, I'm wishing you all the best. I hope if you are someone who's affected by it, that you've managed it well. You've got over it, you know. Dust yourself off, come back, we'll see how things go, but keep strong out there, guys, and we'll see where this takes us. Thank you very much for watching this. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that bell. Take care.